very good morning to all of you. I, Dr. Priyanka Viplani, welcome you all to the 5th day of the 5-day symposium, which was held with the theme that is Women Empowerment and Gender Justice, Addressing the Equality Challenges, jointly organized by the Govind Singh College of Pharmacy, Yamunanagar, and School of Pharmacy, LPU, in collaboration with Jamna Auto Industries Limited. So for today, we are honored to have with us Dr. Shashi Singh, Chairperson, Consortium of Women Entrepreneurs of India, Delhi, as a guest of honor of the day. Ms. Anuke Manhotra, Author, Leadership and NLP Coach, LPU. Ms. Nanshi Singh, Assistant Manager, Abort Healthcare Baddi, Himachal Pradesh. So I welcome all of you, ma'am. And I also extend a heartfelt welcome to all the participants who are there to join the program. First of all, I'd like to introduce our first speaker of the day, that is Ms. Anuke Manhotra. She is author, leadership and LLP coach in LPU. She is top university leader and HR expert and a well-known publisher. She is also a familiar name in FDP and EDP. She is also an NLP coach, working in various leadership roles and in training arena for almost 2 decades now. Currently, she is working with various international storytellers and mentors to assist young professionals connect and communicate effectively during these tough times through her WAW workshops, that is Winning at Work, Unleashing the Power of Confidence and Self-Discipline. Her very popular book praised by every educator, student and professional. I welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And wow, it really feels great. And to be a part of event like this, I must say a big thank you, I believe, to everyone first for sharing their beautiful morning with us and making it more bright. So thank you so much. And I'd like to also congratulate all the organizers for organizing this event, which I believe this topic is very, very vital, and having a discussion on this particular topic is something very, very necessary. So thank you so much once again. So yes, I believe it's the last day here today that we're going to be talking about women empowerment, and we're going to be talking more about gender equality. Right. So is it okay if I am not following any tradition of showing a PowerPoint presentation, and if I ask all of you to engage with me? Is that okay? Maybe in the chat box, you can just say, okay, yes, or show a thumbs up virtually. So no PowerPoint presentation, because it's just, going to be a more interactive session. That's what I love to do. So if that's okay, we can just go ahead and get started, I believe. That's amazing. Okay, great. Thank you so much. For someone going ahead with the online seminars and workshops, for me, your messages on the chat box would act like oxygen, very, very important in today's world and in today's scenario. So keep messaging me, and that would really help me, and we would understand whether you're getting what I'm saying or not. That's great. So as I said, no PowerPoint presentation at all. And because this happens to be almost the closing day for this discussion, I'd like to begin by asking and requesting all of you to, just grab a small piece of paper or a pen. And if you could share with me in a small image that we've been talking about gender equality, we've been talking about women empowerment, a very vital topic, as I said. Is it okay if I ask you to draw a small image or a small word that comes in your mind when I say the word gender equality? I will be also doing the same. So just draw a small image. What comes in your mind when we are talking about gender equality? Maybe you can turn on your videos and show that. If that's a small word, you can share that in your chat box, and we can further discuss. Birds from Gurbani's poetic realm. Okay. Gender equality. The word is birds. Okay, amazing. Yes, we need to keep our intellectual kettles boiling. So just think of any word or an image if you could draw. Okay. It's a true myth from Twinkle Singler. Okay, thank you, Twinkle. It's amazing to see all of you really engaging with me. That's amazing. Very good. Okay, let me show you something what I felt like, when I talk about gender equality. Let me show you this. Is this visible? If I could see in the chat box, yes or no. Great. So what is this? This is a word or a small image of not equal to. So I believe as a writer, I thought that it's very necessary for me to first share what I understand by few words, few words like when we're talking about gender equality. It's certainly not about going ahead and fighting for the same thing that already a man is enjoying or having. Certainly, gender equality does not mean you're equal to men. And I'm sure we all do understand that gender equality also does not only constrain or confine to men and women. We do have other genders as well. So you need to keep that in mind also, because this is, I would say, a very wrong notion, because when we are talking about minority or we are talking about gender discrimination, the first image that comes in our mind, sadly, is of a women. We do have other genders as well. So we need to understand that. So I thought, as a writer, it's very, very important that I share today on this platform given by organizers that what exactly is gender equality. And there's another question that comes in my mind. Now, the question is, how many of us sitting out here? I'm sure there are men also here in this event participating, and that is so encouraging to see. Now, women are fighting for equality, yes or no? How many of you are fighting for equality? Could you just type it? Yes, we are fighting for women's equality. Let me see in the chat boxes. How many of you are sitting here? It's from the last 4 days or 5 days we've been discussing about equal rights, gender equality. Yes, we've been talking about it. So do you really want equality is the question. If you could just type in yes or no. Okay. Yes. Thank you so much, Dr. Priyanka. Yes, we do. Dr. Jyoti. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. All right. Thank you so much. It's a really happy moment for me. As I said, your messages are like kind of an oxygen for me. So thank you so much for that. However, again, I'd say discussions like these, events like these really help us to understand, some very, very important issues in a better way. So I'd like to share my view. I'm not trying to just tell that this is the right view. However, I would like to share that this is my view. And my view is hopefully, let me see, there are around 50 participants, and almost everybody except one, I believe, are saying, yes, we require equality. Now, what if in next 1 minute, some of you change your mind after listening to me? So when I talk about equality, there is another word that we all need to understand, especially women who are talking about, equality. Now, before giving an answer, let me just see how many of you are really, listening to me. Is it okay if I ask some of you to start sharing your videos as well? Because I'm feeling left out. I can just see my face. So if some of you could turn on your videos, that's going to be amazing. It's going to be great. Okay, that's great. Thank you so much. Few more faces, that would really help me. That's amazing. Thank you so much for adding more light. Okay, now I'm sure that, you know, when we are having these events, it gives us a chance to understand. It's not just my view, but then I'd love to listen to even your views. However, for me, you know, I certainly do not like to confine myself in boxes. You know, so there are certain things that I really, you know, want to share if it could help some other, I would say not just women, but then also some other humans to understand what exactly we are talking about when we talk about gender equality. So when I'm talking about not confining to boxes, the first thing comes is, again, equality. It's not that I knew this earlier. I was the one who would proudly say that I fight for women's equality, and I do understand feminism very well. However, there was just one image that one of my teachers shared with me, and I'm so thankful to all the lovely teachers who have come in our life and given us this new perspective and added to our bravery. Now, for me, equality is something that I believe, at least in India, is something which would not really help women as a gender, if you're looking at it as a gender perspective issue. And another thing that could help is very, very similar to equality. However, we refuse to use that word, and that is equity. Let me show you, because this is what the first thing that when I was invited to talk, I was just writing down what it actually means, because it's been a few months that I did not take up this topic. I was busy conducting, you know, more seminars on my book. But I am really thankful to the organizers that they made me think about this issue. This is equity and equality. Now, there is a big difference we need to understand. You know, when I'm talking about equality, it's about sameness. It's about the same thing. I need to have that particular thing that men are enjoying. I need the same rights. But that is not something that I believe a true person who is talking about gender equality is asking for, whether it is, you know, other genders also. When they are talking about gender equality, it is not about equality, it is about equity, because equity basically means that you get equal amount of opportunities, you get equal amount of resources from the level where you are. Now, this was something so empowering, so powerful for me to understand. And as I said, I would be always thankful to those wonderful teachers who enlighten us. Now I really don't fight for equality anymore, but then I certainly want people to understand what is equity. Maybe I said that I would not share my PowerPoint presentation, but it's very essential that I clear this with one small image, because images, as we all know, are very, very powerful. So I hope that we will remember this day and this moment, that what exactly I'm talking about. So if I hope I can share my screen. I'd like to just share one small image. Okay, I do have the access. That's amazing. Okay. Now, this is something that I wanted to share. Okay, I hope the screen is visible to everyone.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's great. Now, you see on the left-hand side, we have equality. This is what we've been talking about. When we do not have, you know, real knowledge about what exactly it means, equality, it is represented by this small box. For example, this is a playground, I would say a baseball or a football playground. Now, there are three people in this image that you can see. One is a man, he is tall, absolutely, you can see that. And there is a girl, and she's not as tall as the man. And you see another person who is not, you know, I would say he's specially abled. And what we see is they would like to look over the fence and see and enjoy the match. Now, when you're talking about equality, it's about sameness. This man has got a box you could take it as a metaphor for the rights or anything. Now, when I'm fighting for equality, I need the same box that he is using. Even that goes for specially able child or a person. However, equity, as I told you, it begins from the level where you are. Now in this second image, when we are talking about equity, this shows that this man doesn't actually require the box. Okay, he is tall enough and he could actually watch and enjoy the match. However, because the girl is not as tall as the man is, she would require not just one box, because in the first image, she's still actually dangling on her toes and she's not able to enjoy the match. When she has got two boxes, she's able to enjoy that particular match. And the specially able, image that you can see of a person, he is provided with a ramp. Now, I believe this would actually give us, clarity about what exactly we understand when we are talking about, equality. Let me just stop sharing, and equity. Okay. Fine. So if you find this empowering, as I said, because on online sessions, it's very difficult for a speaker to understand whether you're with me or not. And if you find you have got something, new information, or if you enjoyed listening to this, you can simply type, wow. That would really encourage me. Okay, so you can go ahead and type in whenever you feel, wow, this is something absolutely new. I was not aware. So that's going to help us. So now if I ask you, how many of you are here and fighting for equality? Now, can you tell me how many of you are fighting for equality? So now I'm sure we would be having a little bit of change in our perception. So it's not that we are fighting for the sameness. It's not that we are fighting for the same and equal right. It's not that we want everything that men are enjoying, whether it is rights or duties or whatever. Now, in order to understand gender equality, again, I thought this is a great platform because I'm sure there are many students who would be listening to it, and it's very, very essential for all of them to understand that, when we're talking about equality or when we are talking about women empowerment, there is something we need to also understand other than, equality and equity. That is discrimination, one word, and we need to understand. Okay, I think that. Thank you. Yes. You hear me? All right, great. Thank you. So another thing we need to understand is diversity and discrimination. Okay, now I bring this point to all of you because, recently I've been on one of the panel wherein we were discussing about the issue about triple talaq. We were also discussing something about the entry of women in the temple. Now, this was very interesting debate, I would say, because again, there were women who were fighting for equality. And there was something that we fail to understand when we fight for this is that the nature actually offers us diversity, and we cannot trying to find, always the sameness or the equal rights. Now, I don't know how many of you really support the views of women who would like to enter the temple, saying that there is a gender discrimination, everyone should be allowed. This could be another debate. We can actually talk about the hours and hours together about that. But then one thing that I really want to share with young girls and boys, if we have in this event, is that please try and understand that nature itself offers diversity and there is no sameness. In the words of Kavita Bhasin, she is a very great poet, and she actually spoke about this, saying that nature offers so much of diversity. It's not just about humans, even about animals. We have got huge, big animals, we have got small animals, but then never, ever, nature or someone else tries to go ahead and say that elephant is more powerful and a better animal when compared to a rat, or a cat is superior to dog. So it's not always comparison. It's not always that rat is discriminated and elephant is supported. So we need to understand. So this is another way that I want all the women or feminists, I would say, to understand, to enjoy the diversity given to us. Even nature celebrates it. So do not try to bring in the sameness in two things. And this was a little bit of disturbing for me to sit down there and try to explain some of the women that, you know what, when you're talking about, there are when we are talking about the temples, there are some gender specific temples also. Some are meant just for transgender, some are meant just for women. There are around so many 3 lakh women visiting one temple and no men is allowed. And there are specifically men temples, mosque, or whatever it is. So when we're fighting for issues like this, because I come from college, it was women's college, and we used to really tease boys if they used to sometimes come down to drop their sisters or someone. So it just struck me at that point of time that women are fighting that why the entry of women is banned in one particular temple. The point here is, if let's suppose a man comes and tells that I am given the right to education, so I would like to join, let's suppose in my college, that was St. Anne's College, Hyderabad. I would like to join in St. Anne's Women's College, Hyderabad, because government gives me right to education. And when we say that no bhaiya, this is only the women's college and आपके लिए अलग colleges है, आप वहां जाके अपनी entry ले लीजिए. नहीं, मुझे तो ये right to education enjoy करना है, government ने दिया है, मुझे women's college में ही पढ़ना है. So I hope these are few simple things that we need to understand, when we're talking about some big issues. It's not always about discrimination. It's about the diversity that the nature has given to us. So I hope I made the point very clear that we need to understand what exactly women empowerment means, what is it, equity, and what is discrimination. You cannot take everything to yourself, because maybe I feel sometimes we ourselves, feel that we are the minority gender, though we are not. I would say we are half of the population. Stop believing and thinking, because whenever we are talking about women empowerment, either it is an image of a distressed woman which comes in our mind, or it is a woman of an aggressive women shouting and screaming. But I don't believe that is all about women empowerment, and that is all about fighting for your rights. We need to understand what exactly we require. So stop fighting and stop creating such images of women which would actually not help us, rather it will harm us. So I believe, yes, this is a certain things that I wanted to share. And now I'd like to understand from all of you again, because as I said, I feel lonely out here because I don't get yes and no faces to smile or acknowledge. Another thing that I wanted to ask, how many schemes of Indian government you are aware that is helping women? Just one or two, if you could write down in the chat box, that would help me. As I said, even I was researching a lot. It's been so many months that I was busy with my book. How many of you really know schemes for women? Okay, no problem. Let me tell you. Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana, absolutely, yes. Anything else that comes to our mind? Okay, great. Dr. Jyoti, Women Scientist Scheme. Amazing. That's great. So thank you so much. Okay, that's Gurbani's poetic realm, and Dr. Jyoti, thank you so much. What if I say Swachh Bharat scheme is helping women, especially the adolescents, I would say especially the girls over the age of 10 or 11, are helped tremendously by Swachh Bharat scheme. Believe me or not, you need to understand the kind of basic amenities that you and I enjoy are actually, kind of luxury for the women in the urban, in the rural areas. We living in the urban societies, we fail to understand the needs, the requirements, the basic amenities which are not given to the women living, or the young girls living in the rural corners of India. When this scheme came, Swachh Bharat scheme, now we need to understand as youngsters, as young leaders, as young pacemakers, how is this scheme helping? Only if we begin to understand what exactly is this scheme for, how is it helping, then we will realize that we are empowered. We need to just start implementing and understanding it in a new and a perspective, very different from what we've been condition to. Swachh Bharat scheme is actually providing clean water, clean drinking water, sanitation, and it is most importantly providing to the girls who hit puberty, they are providing the toilets to them. Many of the girls drop out from the schools once they hit the puberty, and this is so, so sad. I'm sure many of us here know about NEP 2020, the education policy which has come after 34 years, right? Now, what is the goal of NEP 2020? There are so many goals. However, the one I was really happy to read was the GER, that is the gross enrollment ratio. The gross enrollment ratio has to really increase. Now, can you see how can Swachh Bharat is actually helping the NEP 2020, because more girls over the age of 10 or 12 would join in the schools, and they would be helping the
Participants, please wait. I think your connection is lost.
I'm so sorry. There was, I believe, some technical glitch. Can you all hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Yes. So as we were talking about the policies, I believe there are many policies. However, we need to understand what exactly it means, not just to us, but to all the women in our nation, those who are less privileged. Now, another question that comes to my mind is, okay, I understand that there are policies, but when I'm talking about what are the challenges, I believe this event is all about talking about the challenges. Why is it that women are not feeling or are not empowered? And true, it is true that we are, still very, very far from our goal, what we talk even in terms of equity. Now, what could be those challenges? As I said, the number one, I think I did discuss with all of you that we ourselves feel that we are the minority class, right? Now, because I'm someone who has done MBA, and for me, I try to also link it with some of the things that I read. I don't know how many of you come from MBA backgrounds. I would say maybe very few, because you're all belonging to other stream of pharmacy. But I'm sure if I would try to explain you one concept of management, you would understand, which is known as Abilene paradox. Abilene, Abilene paradox. I just thought that everyone feels like they are minority in some definition. Okay, right. I do understand. Let me just, share my point of view. What I'm trying to say here is sometimes it's very necessary that we don't believe that we are minority. And that's what is taught to me by MBA in one of the concept of management. Now, Abilene paradox basically means you are hesitant to rock the boat because you believe you're alone. Okay. For example, in a class of, say, 10 students in a mathematics class, you are given a problem to solve. 9 out of them have got the answer as 10. And actually, the answer is -2. You got -2. So when your teacher is asking you, now, everyone, could you please tell me what's your answer? Everybody raises their hand and they shout and they scream and they say that the answer is 10. And then you sit quiet thinking that, oh my God, because the majority is supporting answer as 10. So maybe I am the wrong one. So -2 cannot be right. So I do not rock the boat because I feel I would be embarrassed if the answer is wrong. It's as simple as that. Now, if you link it to some of the big scandals in India, I'd like to share that there was a big scandal of Satyam scandal. Satyam Infosys in Hyderabad. There were so many good board of directors, highly intellectual, and having great expertise in their own arenas. However, they did not tell the owner when he was going wrong, believing that 6 out of 10 board of director are supporting, Mr. Raju. So why should we speak up? And ultimately, what has happened, we have all seen. So this huge Satyam scandal could have been stopped only if we go ahead and really voice the issue if we feel there is an issue, and do not ever come under this Abilene paradox. I could see some answers. Let me just see that. We are hesitant to take opportunities. That's the reason someone will feel they are minority. Absolutely true, Dr. Priyanka, echo every word. And this is what I'm just trying to share what I felt that hopefully I was told about all these things when I was a little younger, while I was, getting my education. It would have made me more braver, a few years back when I felt I was not as brave as I should have been. So again, as I said, thanks to events like these. So I believe you need to have to come out of this Abilene paradox. This could be one challenge. As I said, this is what I believe. What do you think could be the challenges? That why do women feel less empowered? What is the main reason? We have so many schemes, so many policies. What are some of the challenges or the hurdles coming in our way? We are unaware. Okay. Education. Okay, that's great. And poor family support. Okay. We think at certain times we can't do. Okay, fine. I do understand these are certainly some of the challenges. But again, when we talk about education, education is certainly very, very powerful tool to empower someone. However, education alone cannot help us, to gain what we are looking out for. There are so many educated women, still they do not feel empowered. Another problem with the thing is, what I truly believe is, as I said, I'd like to share, my views on this. I believe the biggest challenge that we are all facing, young boys and girls and everyone, when we are talking about what is stopping us, I feel education in a way would help us. But then the biggest thing is patriarchy. How many of you agree? The kind of system that exists, it's a social system in India. We are all part of this patriarchal society, right? Okay, thank you so much. Now, but we need to understand one thing. When we are talking about patriarchy, it's not just women who are suffering, it's also men who suffer the way many women are suffering. To give you a very small example, very, very small example, in a patriarchal society, men are considered to be brave, men are considered to be very bold, and men are not allowed to cry, men are not allowed to share their emotions. If they cry, they are made fun at. And you know what? If you talk about statistics, very, very horrific statistics, most of the heart attacks, most of the mental illness, if you open the records and see, is coming from the gender men. Most of them die because of heart attack, right? So I see it. If I sit down and understand, patriarchy is not just a problem for women, but then definitely for men as well. We are not allowing them to vent out their emotions, to be who they are. Okay, on a lighter note, this was a very serious problem, but then again, it's a Friday morning. I really don't want you to think so deeply, though I want you to ponder on it. On a lighter side, how can we improve it? Media plays a very big role, how we are all conditioned, how our parents think, how our grandparents are thinking, and how we are thinking. There was a very, though I'm not a big fan of, watching TV, I get rarely the time, but one of my friend happened to show me a Pakistani serial. And that was a very popular serial, it seems. And in that, there is, the goal of a woman is to get married because she's not able to clear her 10th class examination. So she's looking out for someone, and she finds one real nice boy. And she says that, you know what, मैं तो लड़की हूँ, मैं नहीं पढ़ूंगी तो चल जाएगा. But it is really sad कि आपको तो पढ़ना भी पड़ेगा, right? So basically, we are all givers. But how is it projected in media? As a woman, I am giving, or nurturing and acting. There is a big role of a caretaker that I am supposed to do. I'm giving my services in those terms. What is expected from a man? He has to be the financial provider. He has to give some other, basic amenities. Now, my question here is to all the young women who are fighting for equality. When you're fighting for equality, why is it that marriage becomes your ultimate goal? There are few women, oh my God, I cannot study, I'll simply get married. You have this option, but what about the boys? So even boys are suffering in the hands of patriarchy, I would say. So this was a beautiful serial. If I get the name, hopefully I'd share that with you. You can see that. Though it looks very cute, but then I felt so sad for the boy, that what if boy is not good in education? He is not able to pass maths, in 10th class. How difficult it would be for the boy, because it's the way we are conditioned. So media plays a very big role. And girls, remember one thing, you rely so much on men, as I said, marriage is the ultimate goal. It will solve all your problems. Stop thinking this way. The first thing is you need to be, planning for things like, I'll get real good education. Education is certainly empowering all of us. Need to get good education, need to get a good car, drive yourself, be financially independent. Then you buy yourself a house, and then you think of getting married. If you want, I want all of you to write down, this kind of priority. Okay, so first get educated, then you get yourself a car, because we rely on our brothers, on our fathers, and our husband. My husband will come and pick me up, he will drop me there, and this is what. And you are relying so much. And how are you talking about equality? So do not give the chance to the other gender to come and tell you that, you know what, you cannot really get that. And when we go for fight, then they will tell us that, you know, you cannot fight this way. You need to be very polite, because we are providing already so much for your needs. So have that priority. Write down today's date and time, and then set your goals. What do you want? Tell your parents that getting married is the last priority on the list. It's not that I'm trying to, you know, go ahead and tell you that don't get married, but then try to be independent. That's the way you feel liberated. As I think Gurbani's poetic realm said, birds, I do not feel like I'm confined. I would not take support of men. I would not wait. Rather, when my brother needs me, if God forbid something happens, I'm able to take them, drive them to a nearby hospital. I should be that kind of courage, you know. But again, this doesn't mean I become a superhero. You know, there is another very important thing that we all need to understand. We believe that education would empower us. Working in corporates would empower us. Let me tell you, I have no entrepreneur skills when I compare myself to the idli seller in Hyderabad streets. I've seen so many women selling idlis in the morning every single day, standing there and preparing it fresh. Or you know, the fool wali, every day they come with fresh flowers. So these flower sellers, these are not educated lady. That's why I said only education will not help. What will help? I believe the one important thing is you need to understand that skills of every woman needs to be nurtured. You know, there are so many examples. They contribute so much, even in those small layers, idli sellers, flower sellers. Even if you talk about Lijjat Papad industry, it started just with rupees 80. Now the women are contributing so much to the economic growth. So you cannot say, I don't have those kind of skills, the startup skills that they have. I might have studied MBA, but when I go and see those women working, you know, I feel like, oh my God, there are so many leadership lessons that I can take from them. And yes, we need to do that. This is what we need to bring in our education. Another challenge is having the syllabus which is not gender sensitive. That is another thing that we need to bring in. Again, going back to the point, young boys and girls, you know, we all belong to human race. So as I said, I do not want to confine myself. There is diversity. I love the diversity, whether I'm a man, women, or if there is someone from the LGBTQ community, they are enjoying the diversity. Do not fight for sameness. When I'm saying patriarchy, now can someone tell me who is responsible for this, you know, patriarchal society? Who is responsible? It's not men. We cannot ask or blame men for this patriarchal society that is existing, because it's the women who is raising children, who is educating children, whether it's a young boy or a young girl. The biggest upholder of patriarchy, I believe, are women. We need to write down bold, underline it. I don't know what all you can do it, you know, with your technology, but then we are the biggest, you know, upholders. So we need to think about it. We are not talking about men. We are not talking about women. It's about the basic dignity and respect, whether I fall in this category, that category, or the third category. It is about the respect. So we need to nurture the skills. As a mother, let's suppose if I have a girl child and she is very good in some of the skills which are considered to be taken care only by men, you know, carpenters, that kind of a skill, carpentry skills. We would say, oh my God, don't get into all these things. But I'm actually pushing that natural talent or skill into some other direction. Now, this is absolutely wrong. So one is education, one is skill. And then patriarchal society, who is upholding that? Definitely all of us. I'd not just blame women, but then yes, women are also actually celebrating that. So stop doing that. As a mother, do not raise your girl child as a very cute princess. You know, why don't you raise your girl child as a warrior princess? That's my question. Always, you know, showing them the movies like Frozen and so many other things, it would not help. There are so many other real examples. Jhansi Ki Rani is there. We have women who started the education movement. So do not try to show or have the image of this fragile girl, a beautiful girl. I am Papa's and Mama's princess. I'm so happy that my parents raised me as a warrior princess. So there are so many things that we all can discuss about, but then stop blaming first, start understanding, start seeing what exactly is your goal when you're talking about women empowerment. So these are few things that I felt I should be sharing today with all of you. And I'd like to also share, because we talked about the street vendors, the women who are not educated, but now talking about women who are educated, who are working in corporates. Even they love to take all the advantages of being this girl. And I presented that in my latest book. I'll just read. It's a small line, but it could be powerful. I don't know if you feel that. This is my book, Winning at Work, published by Rupa Publication. I'll just share a small line, maybe you will understand. We are equal. Remember, this is a business setting and you need to leave gender aside. Do not pull out a chair for a lady. She can do it for herself. How many of us really expect that, a gentleman, we define them, he should be a gentleman, the boy in my life should be a gentleman, open the door for me, pull the chair for me, this is absolutely wrong. You need to be a professional in the professional world. So if you would like to know more about the professional world, do read this book. I would really be happy if you could read and understand. And again, when you're talking about leadership, in today's world, in the fast-paced world and the world which is hit by a pandemic, it's not that we are looking out for leaders. We don't want women leaders. We don't want men leaders. We require EPLs, that is ethically passionate leaders. This is what we all need. Now, I believe I was given time only till 11, though we started late. I have to run out for another webinar. So I'd like to just give it a wrap. As I said, more power to women, more power to men, more power to all the other genders that we never talk about, even they are human. So I would finally say more power to the human race. It's all about dignity, respect, and equity that we are talking about. So to all the brave girls, I would just wrap it up with a small poem in this book, which says, be a warrior. Arm the revolution, arm the power. As I await none, no friend, no follower. The truth is simple, just be a warrior, be a champion, be the light and win your own fight. So I'd like to stop on that note, and I hope that you must have got some of the new perspectives to think about, and you must have felt more empowered, because I certainly did feel empowered after seeing some of the messages. So thank you so much, those who have engaged with me, and thank you to all of you once again for making this Friday morning so bright. Thank you so much.
The discrimination faced by the women, and I think participants also enjoyed a lot. Isn't it? The various policies are also, you can explain, which is shared by the government for the development of the women. I think the women are also to develop itself in inbuilt or the leadership skills and other skills to develop a lot other than the education. It means education is not only necessary for the women, other skills we have to develop in ourselves to fight against equality. Thank you, ma'am.
It was truly an honor, ma'am. Thank you so much.
If there are any views or any question from ma'am, please share.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Ma'am, my name is Gurbani, and I totally agree with you on the concept of equity. I personally believe in it. And I would also like to share one thing. You gave an example of single-sex institutions, and there are certain temples where men are not allowed and certain temples where only transgenders are allowed. But there's a misnomer existing in our society that menstruating women are impure. That should be eradicated. Menstruation is a normal physiological phenomenon. So it should not be taken as a bias against the women who menstruate.
Absolutely. I endorse your views, Gurbani. And as I said, there was one small point that I shared, and that was about the role of media. You know, the temple authorities have never said, and even according to all the Hindu Shastras, if we really read it ourselves, not by what is feeded in our brains by media, it is never declared that menstruating women are considered impure. So this is something that is created by media. So we need to understand, as I said, we need to first understand what exactly is the problem and what exactly is the perspective. So that was something totally created by media, Gurbani. Thank you so much for asking that very, very important question. And I'd like to personally thank you for responding
Thank you, ma'am.
to all the questions that I've asked. God bless you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, participants, for sharing your valuable thoughts with ma'am. Thank you again, ma'am. We enjoyed a lot your session. On the behalf of both the institutions, we respect the honor of appreciation for you. Kindly accept the ma'am. It's on the screen.
Wow, that is amazing. It feels so good. Thank you for making my Friday, my weekend so special. Thank you so much. I'd like to once again say, a big thank you to all the organizers and to all the participants. Thank you so much. May I please take your leave now, because I do have another seminar coming up.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, now over to Dr. Priyanka. Please continue with another speakers and another session for the today unit.
I think all of you enjoyed the session. It was very much interactive and a good one. Now I would like to introduce our next speaker of the first technical session. That is Ms. Nanshi Singh. She is Assistant Manager Abbott Healthcare Badi, Himachal Pradesh. And she is a pharmacy graduate having versatile experience in quality compliance in pharmaceutical industry. She is expert in regulatory compliance, investigation and audits. And in her professional career, she worked in 6 different organizations, which includes French's Cabby Oncology Limited, Centis Pharma, Cipla Limited, Zydus Cadila, Edley and Abbott Healthcare. She is having about 11 years of experience, and her goal is to achieve reputed position in pharma industry as a woman leader. I welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Am I audible, please? Can you confirm me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We can hear you.
So thank you so much for this warm welcome.
Ma'am, I request you to please take.
Yes, am I visible and audible?
Yes, ma'am.
I guess there are some technical issues, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, so Miss Priyanka, can you confirm me? Am I visible and audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are visible. Audible also.
Okay. Okay. So a very good morning to all of you. So before start, I would like to share my sincere thanks to the management team of Guru Gobind Singh College of Pharmacy for arranging this symposium on such an interesting topic, and I can say a very needful topic in today's world. And also my sincere thanks to the organizing committee for organizing such a long event with happy notes of for everyone. So thank you, and it's my pleasure and privilege also to participate in this event and share my experience with all of you. It might you might get relate with your personal life maybe. So ladies and gentlemen, before wasting any of the time, I must jump on the topic. So my name is Nancy, and I'm a proud mother of 5 years old, very beautiful daughter, and also a professional, experienced professional and demonstrate, experience in more than a decade in pharmaceutical industry. So as Priyanka ma'am said, I worked in 6 pharmaceutical industries till today, and currently I'm working with Abbott Healthcare as an assistant manager. I'm basically, I can say, skilled in investigations in CAPA and auditing and inspections. So I'm a pharmacy graduate. I actually want to become a doctor to serve my nation, but it won't materialize. So I choose my field in pharma sector to ensure the accurate quality of medicines to be reached to the one who need it. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'll not talk about the facts and figures of the women empowerment. You must have enough information about it since last 4 days. So I'll share my experience and my view on women empowerment. Okay. So I feel, I mean, we are already empowered. So say, basically can anybody am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I guess there was some technical issue. I don't know where I missed. So I'll start from initial. Okay. So I have introduced myself in my previous words. So my name is Nancy, and I'm a proud mother of 5 years old daughter, very beautiful daughter, and experienced professional with demonstrated history of experience in pharmaceutical industries more than a decade. I'm, skilled in investigations in CAPA, auditing and inspections, basically. So I'm a pharmacy graduate, and I'm having 11 years of experience till yet. So I actually wanted to become a doctor, but it didn't materialize. So I choose my, field in pharmaceutical industry to ensure accurate quality of medicines to be reached to the one who need it, to the patients. Okay, so today in this event, I'll not talk about the facts and figures of the women empowerment. You guys have enough information about it. So I'll tell you my view on empowerment. Okay, so guys, I don't know how many ratio of women are there, but every woman can relate. Like, we are already empowered. We have enough skills and management, leadership skills, and we are multitasking persons in our life. We can handle so many things. We are playing so many roles in one life. We are the creator and promoter of this society, so we are already empowered. But the real meaning of empowerment is, as I guess, that providing a society can grow, can educate, can train herself, can expose herself about her true skills and true passion. So it's about providing that platform to the woman. Okay, and when the term equity comes under the fashion, so it's not about the gender equity only, so not about the male and female. It's about the fairness and the unbiased behavior or the equal opportunities to be shared with the one who actually deserves the best. It's not like this cannot be done by man, this cannot be done by women. Each and every gender can do anything. It only needs the skills. Okay, so whatever skill suits on somebody can deserve the best. Okay, so there are certain examples in our Indian society where women have achieved some milestones, like in sports, even in politics, in business, in cinema, in awards. Everywhere there are certain women who have achieved a certain milestones. Okay, we have certain examples. So but when we look at their journeys, so it was not very easy. Okay, they did not serve with the lots of opportunities and environment and culture in a golden plate. They don't born successful. They fight with it. They fight with the culture, with the society, with sometimes they fight with their parents as well to become successful, to achieve their milestones, to achieve their desires. Okay, so why don't we? Okay, so in this woman empowerment case, I must tell you guys, let us correlate ourselves with the women who are more successful in different fields according to our skills. Okay, so take a pause from this symposium, and just check your background. In any of the case, have you ever experienced any kind of unbiased behavior with with respect to gender? Any fairness, unfairness with different genders? So probably everybody has experience about it in our life. Okay, it may be in our family, in our neighborhood, or in any of the relatives, friends, anywhere. We must have experienced it. So why it is so? We have to focus on it. Why it is so? I mean, it totally depends on the culture that has been created around us. So how that culture can be changed, we need to focus on that. I mean, can we contribute to change that culture? So if yes, if anytime you feel if yes, so we need to contribute anyhow. We have to take step up to change that culture. So it's like it's very famous quote. Whenever you feel you want any change, first it has to be changed in yourself. So first you have to change your thought process. So let me tell you about a few examples. Since I belong to pharmaceutical industry, I'll tell you a very good example in the pharmaceutical industry. So you must have heard about the Biocon. Biocon industry is a biggest pharmaceutical industry, and it led by a lady who her name is Kiran Majumdar Shah. So she's a lady. She studied fermentation science in Melbourne, and she came back to India. She actually belongs to Bangalore. So she came back to India to pursue her career in fermentation science. But because of this male dominating society, she didn't get the equal opportunity who can be served by her. Okay, so she was little disappointed at that particular moment. So she thought about go back to Melbourne or somewhere else to start her career. Okay, so it was by luck, I can say. She made with a partner who was founder of Biocon from the Ireland. And so she that partner shows she shows her interest in fermentation science, and they were actually manufacturing enzymes. So with the positive note, they started cumulatively start working with the Biocon. Okay, so that partner wants to settle her the setup in the India. So they found Miss Shah was super perfect for that role. So Misha went to Ireland for some training purpose, and then in between 6 months she came back to India to start Biocon. But with the fortunate, I can say the Indian laws, Misha got 70% ownership of Biocon. So this is how she become co-founder of Biocon. And she started with just 1,000 rupees of investment from her garage. Now it becomes multi-millionaire organization, I can say. Everybody wants to work in Biocon. So it actually located in Bangalore, and they basically belongs to biopharmaceuticals like enzymes and human insulins and biosimilars. So they are very good in it. So when you look at the journey of Miss Shah, so she was just like us. Okay, but she was very desired and very desperate towards her the education, whatever she had, towards her passion. So she achieved ultimately. So as a business trigon, I can say she comes under top 10 women leaders in India. And she also nominated in Forbes magazine, if you refer. So she's within the top 10 ladies in India. So why I'm telling you this story, that whenever you see any successful women, we can relate with their journey, that it's somehow related to us, and if they can do, we can also do, right? I'll tell you some more women examples in pharmaceutical industry. I actually worked with Cipla for 5.5 years. So there I can see in the board of director persons, so there are 8 MC members. So out of 8 MC members, you can see there are 4 women. So like the CEO of women, you must have heard about Samina Wazir Ali. She is the CEO of Cipla. She is the daughter of Hamid sir, the founder of Cipla. So she's leading the Cipla from the top. Another woman in the MC member is Dr. Ranjana Pathak. You must, if you are interested in pharma, you must know about these women's. So she is leading quality operations of entire Cipla globally. So along with India, globally she's taking care of quality operations, like along with quality, pharmacovigilance, as well as regulatory affairs. Another lady, I must tell you about the Miss Geena Manhotra. Uh, why it is interesting to know about her? Because she started her career from Cipla only as an officer in production. You can say it's a male dominating department. Since I'm working in pharma, I don't rely on it, but at the earlier stage of time, it was a male dominating society. There she pursued her career in such a fashion that sooner she become a leader in production. She was so technically strong that she become a part of leadership position in Cipla, and very soon in just 25-30 years she become part of board of director. So now she's leading the sections of Cipla globally. So another member in MC member, another lady is Dr. Raju Mistry. She's leading administration and HR functions globally in Cipla. So we can see there are so many leaders, as a woman sitting on the top and leading the organization, one of the top organizations, okay, from the top. How they can do this? Because there are certain, skills, there are certain, I can say the knowledge we have, that we can do multiple things in one time. So we need to, just find out in ourselves how best I can do. Okay. So even in Abad, I'm working in Abad right now, and in Abad, I can say my regional India quality head is lady, HR head is lady, and IT head is lady, who's the entire India region IT led by a lady. So it's really proud for all of us, and when we saw there are so many leaders, women leaders there in our field, so we have that courage that we can also achieve to that level. Even I admire Dr. Ranjana Pathak very most. I wanted to reach up to that level where she is sitting right now as a global quality head. So when I met personally with these few of these leaders in my entire career, like Dr. Ranjana Pathak, Miss Geena Malhotra, Raju Mistry, when I met with her, so I feel there are certain certain things which really needed to empower a woman, what I experienced. So I'll share you, there are a few aspects which really required to empower a women or to create that environment. The very first thing is tell your story. So I told you that why I'm sharing Miss Sa's story, because it's really inspirational to all of us. If she can do, why can't we do? Okay, so tell your story is very much important. Whenever there is a successful leaders, successful women are there, we must follow them. We actually admire them. Okay, so we have to refer their stories, we have to read about their ups and downs, their mistakes, their failures, and how they overcome with that failures. So that's how we can relate, we can learn, we can acknowledge more and more things in our personal life, in our professional life. So when you follow them, so you can find like whatever roadmap, whatever road they have traveled, it was very much equal to us. Whatever the travel, whatever the path we are following, they have followed already that path, and they have achieved. How they have achieved, that we have to know about it. So the very important thing is read the stories, follow them, admire them. Okay, so like it's like ऐसा है कि अगर वो कर सकते हैं तो हम क्यों नहीं कर सकते. It's like that. Okay, so always think in your mind कि there are the factors which we have to work on so that we can achieve our milestones. Okay, second I can say stand up for a woman. It's whenever you see any discrimination, any inequality, any unbiasedness, or you can feel this is something wrong, it should not be done. So please stand up, please call it out. Okay, because if it happens to her, it can be happen to me. Okay, so always stands for a woman. This really needs to be a change in our society. And I know there are certain males as well in this forum. So it's not only about the women who can support a woman, but from everybody I can request you, from everybody, okay, stands for a woman. Whenever you see this is wrong, there is a discrimination, the one who deserve should get the best opportunity. Okay, it's not like only women has to empower, it's like whoever is deserving most, but there should be no discrimination. Okay, third one is I must tell you, share opportunities. So whenever you see, whenever somebody is on the higher position, or if I am at the position where I can refer someone, I should. Even I need to focus on my surrounding areas. If I can feel this lady or this woman is suitable for that opportunity, I should convince the decision makers to refer her. Okay, so always share the opportunity. Whenever you see, share the opportunity. Next I can see encourage a woman. Okay, it's very common phenomena. I mean everybody can experience. We sometimes we hesitate. Okay, we don't want to speak up, we question ourselves whether we can do or we can't do. Okay, so it's like lack of confidence push us back sometimes. So whenever you see such kind of phenomena in any of the lady, please encourage her, please stand besides her, and ensures us that she has enough talent to do. She has to apply for the promotions, she has to apply for the trainings, she has to apply for the mentorship. She has to always like encourage women whenever you feel there is some, there is need of encouragement. Please, it's very commonly says by everybody that a woman is a biggest you to please work on that. Please try to close that myth from anybody's mind. We are not the enemy of any of the women in our life. Okay. Next is build your network. I must tell you guys, whenever you see somebody who's one lady who's very good in in her career, or she's very successful, or not only successful, she's motivated, like she stands besides to the women, or she has some quality which you admire, so always follow, always stay connected with them. So you will definitely have so many ideas about how to pursue, how to overcome. You will have good enough idea about it. So staying connected, there are various ways. I can say we are in the 21st century, and there is a certain modes for the communication. So it's not like we have to go to that lady or to that person to meet with them, to have a huge two stands in a huge line. It's not like that. There are several ways where we can connect. Okay. So please, the more we work together, so we more be heard. Okay. जितना ज्यादा साथ काम करेंगे उतना ज्यादा सुनाए जाएंगे. कैसा होता है ना कि like if I am applying for something and nobody is besides me, nobody is supporting me, so it's like my voice can be keep quiet, nobody will listen to me. Okay. But if there are certain people who are supporting me in that way, so definitely it will be heard. Okay. And remember, nobody can do anything by without any support, without taking so many burdens onto their shoulders. So we always we need to seek for the support, we need to seek for the help. Please ladies, I'm a mother of a 5 years old daughter. I know it's really very difficult to nurture everything in a correct direction, so we always need help. So never hesitate, just keep your egos aside and ask, seek for the help. Anyone, whoever it is. Okay. If you think he or she can support you, please seek for the help. So there are I familiar with you. There are so many aspects of the empowerment. So about these aspects, please make a note, try to follow them. Okay. So with these aspects, I tell you about myself little more about my story. As I told you, I'm a farmer professional. I started my career in 2010. Before that, I actually grown up in a middle class. My parents, I can say, they nurtured me in a fashion that no matters whether you are male or a female. It's like follow your passion. Whatever you like, do whatever you like. Okay. It's not about education and education and education. You must learn so many things in your life. Okay. How to how to react, very important things. Okay. How to take decisions. Okay. So there are certain things which cannot be learned by the education only. So it's very important how we nurture in our life. So I have nurtured in a fashion that you have to follow your passion. So thanks to thanks to God to give me such a good parents. And fortunately I'm married to a I can say a man who guides me, supports me, and always push me up to grow. So I share you one example of my life. When I was studied in 12th, it was board exam, and probably everybody feels it's very critical for all of us, 12th board. So I was pretty good in sports at that moment of time, so I follow sports very well. So I was good in racing, so I applied for 1500-meter race and hammer. I was very good in that, so I selected for I was in runner-up position in state, and I selected for the national. Okay. So in the middle of the January, it was planned to visit the outside of Madhya Pradesh for this participation, and my parents allowed me. I went there for 15 days. The when the exams were on the head. but my parents allowed me because they have that confidence that this is the priority right now. You have to serve this your school, because you achieved such a good level, so you serve your school right now, and once you come back from that sports, then you can focus on your study. So there I learned about how to set the priorities in your life, which is very important. So that's why I told you education is not the enough. You have to learn so many things in your life to balance your life, to make your life in a good good I can say level. So this is how I have been nurtured in my family. Then when I started my career also in pharma industry, I can tell you guys, IT sector is quite developed right now, but there are certain things which has to be developed in pharma sector. Okay, so when I joined, there are biasness in pharma. So everybody talks about the pharma is like a little more political, little more favorism is there in pharma industry. So when I joined, I was very new with this world. So I felt so many challenges, so many ups and downs in this pharma field. And I'm telling you about myself. I'm very front speaker, so I don't hesitate to speak anything. So it was very difficult for me because of this habit. I have been cornered so many times, and there are certain changes in the roles and positions and the places in my career. But I always took that as a challenge, as an opportunity to nurture myself in a very good way. So I learned so many things. I worked with so many people in when I worked with Cipla. So there was a time when I moved to a project, a greenfield project, where the entire construction and the installation and commissioning of a plant. At that moment when I shifted to there, so some people might have thought in their mind that she will be like harassed and she will leave very soon, because it's not easy to work over there. So when I went there, I saw there are people of a team of 20 peoples, and all 20 were male. I was the single lady in that field. So I thought it's really a great opportunity to to create your values in their minds. Whoever feels like she's a lady or she can't do this. So I took that opportunity and I worked very hard. There were certain times where I stand for full day. There were times when we stay long hours in the company to to complete the work. So about 2 years we worked very hard, and we achieved successfully completed that project. We together with team successfully completed that project. So when that project completed, so everybody has that value of my value in their mind, that no nothing can bound her. Neither I can say their responsibilities nor the gender. So I achieved that milestone in my career when I worked in my field. So it's not like I'm not I can't say like I'm one of the famous person in pharma field, but I'm still working to achieve that milestone in pharma. So this is how I took up my journey, and still I'm learning so many things to continue increasing my values, to continue increasing my knowledge, my skills, so as to pursue my career up to a high level where I have dreamed myself, where I have set a goal for myself. So as per my experience, I wanted to tell you guys, there are few things which has to be taken in your mind always and always. Create your values, work on your to create your values always. So first of all, I would like to tell you guys that so first of all, know about yourself, what actually who you are, what you want from your life, why you are here, what is your passion, what you want, what are your desires. Okay, forget about the society, forget about the surroundings, what they feels about you. Don't worry about it. Okay, just focus on your desires, what you want, who are you. So how you can do that? You can prepare a note for yourself. Okay, work on yourself. What I likes, what I don't likes, how I react in such situations, or how I react in that situations. You have to know yourself first. Okay, when you know about yourself, when you know about your desires, when you know about your weaknesses, then only you can work on yourself. So guys, as per my experience, nobody is happy with you. Okay, if you are working to make everyone happy, nobody will be happy, please. So always work on yourself, always passionate about your goal, passionate about your desires, and start working on it. So whenever you make a note about yourselves, you may know, these are my, weaknesses where I can work. And if you feel I can work, start working on it. From today onwards only, start working on it. You have to sacrifice so many things. You have to change yourself. You have desires you have, but you have to work hard. You have to take, put some efforts. Okay, it's not like it will be served in a golden plate. So you have to work hard. And as earlier ma'am told you, no, need not to depend on anyone. It's not about the gender. None of the gender has to depends on anyone. So like I feel I don't want to, depends on anyone. So I learned about the driving. Now I'm driving myself, so I don't depends on my husband. I can go anywhere, whatever I like I can do. I'm earning enough that I can, fulfill my dreams. So it's like, work on yourself first. Okay. And when you prepare that note, so you can know that about what you have to work. Okay, so start working on it. And let me tell you guys, start start working on your appearance as well. Because look, it's not about your fairness, it's not about your darkness. Okay, it's not about your, the body shape. It's about how you appear yourself in front of anybody. So that reflects your confidence on your face. So if I tell you guys, if I sit here in a common attire, or in just putting some t-shirt and lower, and sit in front of you with a lazy face, so you guys will definitely feels like, how can she tell anything? Okay, she does not looks like a confident lady. Okay, so that's why I'm telling you, the appearance is very much important. You have to showcase how energetic you are, how passionate you are, how much desire you have for something. Okay, so you have to improve your appearance. You have to look very energetic every time. Okay, and the posture is very important. Whenever you speak in front of somebody, or whenever you sit down, whenever you stands up, so it's very important. So work on it, make a note, make a note. Let's take an example. Suppose if we both are discussing something and I immediately reacted on it. So that reaction may embarrass me in front of somebody, in front of some bunch of people, if my reaction was wrong. Because I'm a quick reacting people. So when I came back to my home, I'll make a thought about it, what I did wrong. So okay, when I thought about it, I may make a note about it, that yes, that reaction was very quick. I need to first understand the thing, and then only I have to react. So there I found one learning, that how on what thing we have to work. I have to work on myself. Okay, so from that onwards, I'll start working on it. So I may refer some books, I may refer some videos, I may refer some articles, and then I'll make practice about it. So this is how I can improve myself. Slowly and slowly, when we practice about it, it will definitely come. You will engulf it, and it will definitely reflect on your reactions. It will work definitely. So my suggestion is to improve yourself, to work on about your desires. Okay, so it's not about the only thing, educate yourself, but feel what surrounding people thought about it. Try to change that mindset. How to change it? You have to work on yourself. Okay, so it's like, you will know about your MSDS. Okay, you must heard about MSDS. It's material safety data sheet. So you will know about your MSDS, and then you will know the precautions you have to taken care during the any kind of communication, conversation, or any activity. You will know about it, and then you know how to pursue that. So you will have good enough idea about yourself. In this way you can, work out on yourself. Okay, make a habit to know about yourself. Try to utilize this a digital world where so many things are available online. So we have YouTube, we have Google, everything can be taken from the Google. So try to as much as you can utilize this digital world for your connections, to stay connected with your mentors, with your allies, with your the one to whom you admire. It's very easy in current scenario. Okay, so this is how you will have good enough idea how to. Okay, so another very important things I want to tell you, create your values in everybody's mind. Okay, whoever is surrounded by your of your surroundings, so you have to create your own values in their mind. Who you are, why you want to do this, why you are pursuing this, what the skills you, what best skills you have, why you deserve this, why you want, why they want you to do this. So create that values in their minds. Okay, this is very very much important. Always look fresh, look energetic, look enthusiastic, like you are very much eager to do this. This will definitely add something in your career, in your life. Okay, in your to achieve your milestones, it will definitely add. Always look like that. Okay, stay positive. Take each and every opportunity as every challenge as an opportunity. Like if I'll focus on it, I'll definitely learn something new, and then definitely it will add something into myself, which will make me a one step ahead from the back. So try to have that understanding in your mind. Okay, I did this in my entire career. I till today I did this. I took so many challenges. Even you guys can relate. I'm having a daughter, so can understand, like it was me also to take some pause from the job and nurture her in a good fashion. Once she will get comfortable with this surrounding, then only you can start your job. But I took that activity also as a challenge, and with the grace of God, I can say I wanted to pursue my career in a good rhythm. So I got that crutch facility in Sipla. So it was just I was fortunate with that, I can say, because I'm very passionate about my goals. So I need not to quit any kind of my work, my job. I start continuing with that after my maternity, and everything goes very smooth. My daughter was very comfortable over there in the crutch, and I was very comfortable with my work because she was very safe over there. So when you actually बहुत ही मतलब like famous, it's a quote, जब आप किसी चीज को शिद्दत से चाहते हैं तो फिर कायनात आग लग जाती है उसको पूरा कराने में. It's like that only. Okay, so you have to decide what you wanted to do. This is how every successful woman, they have certain difficulties, they have certain challenges, but they overcome it. How they overcome, you need to study it, you need to like think about it. Okay, and then you have to take that that opportunity, that challenge as an opportunity to pursue it. Okay, it's not very tough, it's not very tough. You have to ask yourself what you wanted to do. If you wanted to do, just go with it. Need not to take any kind of pause. Okay, so with this entire aspects which I have been shared with you right now, so I can conclude that all the participants, I would request you to please, the very one thing is, be a reason for a change. Be a reason for a change in this society. Okay, focus on how we can change. Second thing, improve your personality to become more and more confident, more energetic, more enthusiastic about your goal, about your passion, about your desires. This is second very most important thing. Improve your personality. Don't link it with your fairness. Don't link it with your darkness. Don't link it with your body shape, size, tall, long, nothing like that. It's how you feel about yourself. Okay. Third thing I must tell you, work on your life, work on yourself, improve your skills, improve your knowledge, improve your the communications, the listening, everything. Improve the leadership qualities within the you. Okay, so this is how you can work on yourself. Fourth thing I can tell you, read the stories of a successful leaders who become successful, who have achieved certain milestones in their life. Try to learn so many things. Try to learn how they overcome their difficulties, how they overcome their failures. Try to learn from there. Okay, this is the four aspect I must tell you. Next, always support, always promote, always encourage a woman, whether you are a male or a female. Try to stand beside a woman. If any time you feel any discrimination in your place, in your surrounding, in your family, in your neighbors, anytime when you feel any discrimination, any sorry, excuse me, any discrimination, please call it out. Please stand besides, please promote them, please stand besides a woman. Sixth thing I must tell you, never ever become an enemy of a woman. Either you are a male or you are a female. Never ever become an enemy of a woman. If you are a male, you can understand, you have so many women in your family. If you are a woman, you can understand how difficult it is to to have everything, to make everyone happy, to to pursue everything in a certain direction. Seventh thing I must tell you, stay connected. Stay connected with your mentors, with your allies, with your leaders, with whom you actually admire. Stay connected with them. It will definitely encourage, empower you. It will give you so many ideas, the right directions, how to pursue your desires. Okay. So I would request all my beautiful ladies and gentlemen to take a pause. Whatever I have told you, make a note about yourself, start working on yourself, improve yourselves, and work on for your desires and achieve the best milestones, whatever you wanted to become. Make yourself proud, make your parents proud, make your society proud. Everybody, we all are there to participate in the growth of our nation, so we have to do that. Okay, with this note, I would like to tell you, um, I don't know whether I have enough more time or not. I don't know. So wish you very good luck to all of you in your journey. Whenever you seek any kind of help, I can say, or any if any time point, if I can help you or support you, I'm very much pleased to that. And stay positive, stay confident, and stay blessed. Be safe. I hope you all guys are vaccinated. If not, please take vaccinations. If it is very, very much safe. I have taken all 2 doses and it's very much safe. And um, whatever the rules and regulations are there with respect to COVID, please follow them. Make your parents proud, make yourself proud. Thank you so much. If anyone having any kind of question with respect to my journey or anything else, you may speak out, please.
Good morning, everyone. I am Manhotra Sharma, and on behalf of organizing team, I would like to thank our keynote speaker, Mrs. Nanshi Singh ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for enlightening us with the knowledge and the success stories of different ladies you have told us. Ma'am, actually your lecture was full of enthusiasm and it was very energetic.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for enlightening us such enthusiasm, where we come to know that what actually the definition of a beautiful lady is. And if I talk about myself, I would like to take away
the line what you have said, that do what you like. Seriously, it was an amazing lecture. Thank you so much, ma'am. Valuable time and from the hectic schedule. Thank you so much, ma'am. Anybody from the
Very much.
delegates having any raise hands, or they can type the in the chat box. Sam, request Priyanka ma'am to please share the token of love for the Mrs. Sananche Singh ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much for
Thank
this
you so much, ma'am.
appreciation and love.
At last but not the least, I would like to thank you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, may I disconnect right now?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank
ma'am.
you. Thank you.
चलो देखेंगे मैडम मिला तो ले आएंगे.
Time to introduce our guest of honor of the day, Dr. Shashi Singh. She is Chairperson Consortium of Women Entrepreneurs of India and NPO technical organization working for the economic empowerment of the women for the last 24 plus years. She has been a member National Board of Ministry of MSME, Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, Government of India, and she has also been awarded by the President of India for excellence in promotion of small industries in 1998. Dr. Singh has executed many Turkey projects as well as a UN consultant in the post-conflict country, Afghanistan, to provide knowledge management and technical support for enterprise building for women. She organized B2B for women entrepreneurs of Afghanistan and India to enhance trade, investments and joint ventures and promote technological advancement in the post-conflict country. She has established networking programs for forward and backward linkages with 42 countries worldwide under the international cooperation, and her projects have also helped rehabilitate tsunami-affected women in Sri Lanka. I welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for, and namaskar to everybody. And I was quite surprised that it's going to be Teachers' Day, and I'm going to be speaking to almost 200 teachers. That's what I was told. So, you know, I will first say that I'm not a teacher. So I'm a practitioner, so please pardon me if we do have any kind of, you know, equality is also in terms of views. So maybe my views and the views of other panelists and the eminent speakers could differ, but please pardon me on that. But I thank Prema ji for inviting me to this forum, and I believe this Mahila Samanta Divas was you know, organized, and it was a day, it's a pleasurable day, because when we say Samanta Divas, it talks about equality, and equality talks about both genders. It's about male and female. It's about both of us. So it's not just about women empowerment. It's about it's talking about both the genders, and to work conducively in a safe environment, in a conducive environment, to create the ecosystem to nurture everybody, all of us in the communities, so that we all benefit from each other. So I would say that my talk on gender equality would be on, because even the UN system, if you agree that though when we talk about women, we bring in the men also, because we bring in at least 30% men to understand कि equality hoti kya hai. What is equality? We're not talking about you know, growing beyond each other. It's about complementing each other, or it's also about supporting each other. And it's like two wheels of a cycle. Both have to work together to be able to move further in a whole positive environment. So if I bring that aspect into all my in the community work where I do, see, I'm an entrepreneur myself, and I've become now a social entrepreneur. So my perspective will be more on the gender perspective of how women have been left behind or have not been given the equal opportunity. So what are we now discussing? I mean, I'm talking to eminent people, and my panelists have been. I just went through that. They were eminent panelists who spoke very well about various elements of growth of women, and when we're talking about, this is one of the major goals of this SDG, the Sustainable Development Goals of the UN. And I work very closely with the SDG, and I'm trying to interpret the SDG in all forms. See, if you take women's equality, or if you take the gender justice, or if you take, I mean, we bring in gender budgeting, we bring in women in all forms of, in all sections of society, we play a very important role. The only thing is we have a disaggregated data is not helping us to make conducive policies and programs, and they're not being able to reach out to the poor. See, what is it? Inclusivity and equality. This will happen only when we all form an equal status in society. We cannot have this Bharat and India. We cannot have the divides. We cannot have digital divides. We can't have urban and rural. We can't have poor and rich. So these are the kind of divides which are making women more divisive. Why? Because I'm saying the opportunities. The baseline is that the opportunities differ. Now, the haves have more haves, the have-nots have less. I hope you'll agree with me. See, I work at the grassroots, and when I go down to the grassroots women, it's so different. It's so different. Somewhere I say they are much more empowered than us. Somewhere I will say that they are less empowered than us. So how do we bridge this? See, it cannot be one size fits all. It cannot always be a one program will fit the entire country. And India is a very large country. I'm talking about the Indian context at the moment. So when I represent the tribal women, I represent the underprivileged women. I deal with women migrants. I deal with women farmers and women in the construction industry. I'm not talking about high-tech industries at all. I'm talking about the low stratas of society. And there I find a very huge gender gap. So what happens to the whole system is that if we have a policy conducive for the country, one uniform policy will not fit all. I'm on the policy decision-making body with the government of India, and especially for income generating activities, livelihoods, focusing on entrepreneurship. So see now, where have we come? We've come a long way. अभी जो ये हम लोग ने मनाया पर्व जो मनाया जिसमें समानता की बात करी गई. So we have achieved a lot, yet a lot has to be achieved. वो कहते हैं ना कि that it'll take about 100 years for this gap to close. The men and women gap, this gender gap, will close in 100 years. That's what the saying is. But the Chinese proverb, if you've heard about, is that you can cover the 1,000 miles, but a step has to be taken. So the step has already been taken. How long it will take? It depends on the entire ecosystem. The ecosystem, the environment which we create for each one of us to grow equally. We're talking about equality. As I said earlier, it's men and women equal. We cannot step on each other's toes and say, yes, we have won the war or we won the race. अगर आप मैं एक एग्जांपल अभी आपको देती हूँ इंडियन डिफेंस सर्विसेज में, we say the women pilot, the women have started going. Women have started going, but why have they been stopped from going earlier? Because the system has been set in place where I'll tell you, because I'm from the Air Force background, and I know that what happens is when you go there are reservations that, okay, so many women will be taken, reservation. So that means only that amount of people, the reservation of 1% or 2%, only they would be able to rise because they have the opportunity. Why not open it for all? Because when we are saying, I'm not against reservation or that, I'm coming to a point where I'm trying to explain to you where we went wrong sometimes. In the army, when they do the selection and the training, there are differences. There are differences because men and women, because they say, okay, we can give some concessions to women to come in. No, we don't need that. See, if you have to fight a war, you will be fighting on an equal footing. Nobody is going to say you're a woman, so I'm going to not fight with you. Or if the enemy is going to want you to, will come and confront you, will not leave you because you're a woman. You have to be equally strong. So here I'm talking about the delivery system. I'm talking about our delivery system has to be strengthened equally. We must be given the opportunity equally. Yes, physically we may not be as strong as men, but mentally we are as strong. And sometimes you need strength, but sometimes you need a mental agility. So why not use the best of a women? And why do you stereotype a women ki ye kar sakti hai, ye nahi kar sakti hai? That again, who has made these stereotypes? We ourselves have made our stereotypes that I can do only so much, or women are into, yes, they're good homemakers, no doubt about it, but that doesn't undermine you. If you're a homemaker, housewife, you're not undermined. You are unpaid. And now I'm coming to that all women are working, but it's only a few women who are paid. Now that's again the whole disparity which we're talking about. Agar hum sab equal kaam kar rahe hain, we're putting in the same hours of service. In fact, we put in more hours of work, but are we underpaid? Are we not demanding that you pay us for this, but recognition. At least recognize the women's contribution in the society. You cannot say that the 50% of the population, okay, you have to just look after your homes and we don't care how you do. We also have ambitions. All women have ambitions. So give them the leeway, give them the freedom to think. And in this, the day of women's equality, very good data has come out that yes, women have, the girls have got freedom to choose what kind of career they want. They have the right to choose what streams to take in school, what kind of practices they want to do. And yes, they have also started putting their foot down and saying that I don't want to get married till I stand on my own feet, because they want to be independent. They want to be economic independent because, see, they know that the struggle is now already begun. As I told you, the two wheels have to work together and we have to complement each other in supporting the entire family as a unit. So if the both of them have to work, there are lots of pros and cons which will happen. This divisive forces will be there because we are under the patriarchal system of society. Now, in the patriarchal system, there was certain framework in which we were following. But they have to change. And as I just heard a few people saying that the change has to come from within. So it's a change for both men and women both. It's not just the change of one person. The equal partners, both of them have to change in life. Both have to have an understanding. Yes, the change in society, if the change in society is there, how do we change our thinking? So then it brings us to our mindset. What kind of mindset do we have? What kind of a system we have been brought up in? What are the kind of the ecosystem or the environment? So society plays a very important role, I would say, in bridging this gender gap. The society has to also become an influencer, has to become a facilitator, and society, I mean all of us are part of the society or a community. So we all have to understand and grow together to say, okay, these were the kind of differences earlier, but as the times change, we have to come together and work on a common platform so that both of us can nurture the men, women, both get an equal opportunity. Again, I'm not leaving out the men in the whole democratic process, because they will say, if you have equal right, why do you ask for reservation in seats? Why do you ask for a bus which is which has seats only for women and things like that? We are saying that, yes, we have understood the base factor, we've understood the main cause of the problem, but we have not implemented it practically. We have not changed our mindset practically. We have not brought up the male forces, even in homes, right from childhood. The discrimination is still happening. See, dowry, it's still happening in educated families. I hope you will agree with it that it's growing. It's not stopped. Whereas this, I mean, how even child marriages we talked about, yes, we become so sensitized and we become a little educated, so we have stopped that. We say we don't. But if you see in the other society, other class of society, children, because of poverty. See, poverty has another dimension to feminism. I mean, this is at the cost of poverty, we're trying to work on certain issues that will not give you a balanced society. So if we say feminization of poverty, because I'm going to come to the economics of the entire thing, why the balance is not taking place? Because if you're talking about the poor, it's a cutthroat competition for them. It's a survival of the fittest. So there you will find that even child marriages or even trading or child abuse is still happening. Is still happening because they are wanting to survive and they don't want hunger and things like that happening. It's a very sad state of affairs. I mean, if I say, I mean, she talked about Afghanistan. You're seeing what's happening in Afghanistan. And, you know, I work in good times where we really empowered the women to understand that you have to fight for your own justice. They were so educated women. They are judges, they're lawyers, they're educationists, they are members of parliament. I mean, they are at the top level. They were in good businesses, making roads, they were making buildings, they themselves were in the cargo and businesses of very, very high growth, which we don't even see in India. So there was no disparity in terms of when they were choosing the kind of careers they want to take. You will be amazed to see. But yes, the majority of the women said, yes, we accept battering, we accept violence because that's a male right. I was shocked. I said the education of women, what to use if you accept the society and say, yes, we're allowed to be battered, we're allowed to be, the men can beat up because it's their right. That is what Afghanistan was. And in India, fortunately, we've risen, we've come a long way, and we have the CEDAW, we have the VAW, which is in place, and we have a whole ministry. And the NCW, we have the legal system, which is protecting women. But I would put a clause here that women should not take advantage of the laws and misuse it, because it will go against them in the long run. So if laws are made, let us be our own policing. Let us do our self-policing. So if we as a humanity, as a society, look at this gender justice in a very moderate platform where we talk about equality against each other or in favor of each other and work equally, then yes, we'll have a balanced society. And in the SDGs, we are talking about justice, we're talking about law, we're also talking about environment. And I will come to it that I think women play a very important role, and if they are included in the whole policy process, and there I'm coming again to the point of decision making. How many women? I would disagree where some people have said that in the corporate sector, we have been able to break the class ceiling. How many percentage? I mean, let's look at the percentage of women, whether it's Miss Nui in the Coca-Cola, or how many women have reached the top level. Again, the point is it's only a few women, handful of women who have reached that position. And that could be other reasons where they've got the support of the environment, their family, and the peers. But most of the women do not get support from anywhere. So how do they grow? They have to grow on their own inner instincts, but we need to also create a whole policy mechanism, a whole infrastructure. And when I come to infrastructure, it is many things. Infrastructure is also, besides laws, it's also legislature. It's, of course, the empowering at the grassroots level. We say, at the bottom of the pyramid. That is where 90% of women you'll find at the bottom of the pyramid. The informal sector, the unorganized sector, as we say, or the informal sector. All women are working. All women are contributing to the society, to the family, and to the household, whether it's rearing children, whether they talk about nutrition, we talk about childcare, the education, incomes of the families, agriculture, animal husbandry. They're contributing absolutely at the base of the thing. But what are they getting in return? They are either being battered or they're being, just not recognized. They are still under parda. Some of them don't even face the male. That doesn't matter. They are contributing. The entire cottage industry. I work a lot with the clusters of women in the cottage sector. Now there, if you go, the entire production base is done by women. The entire production base, I can vouch, is done by women. Male members go out for markets. Now, what happens is, if the man earns from the market, he brings in the income, does he share that amount with the woman? She has put in this hard work and labor, but how much does she get? She probably gets a little pocket money to run the house, to feed the children, to make food and things like that. But she's not an independent earning member. And that's where we bring in this whole thing about inclusive economic policy, where we're talking about inclusion. It's social inclusion, it's financial inclusion, it's technological inclusion, and we have to say the inclusion of women in all parts of life. If you don't include them in the entire growth process, they will be left out, and you will still have that gap, as we are saying, the widening gap, or we can say that it is taking 100 years, as it's been mentioned. It can be reduced if all the parameters of the growth, whether it's for man or women, are equal. So the opportunities have to be equal. Equal opportunities have to be given to the women on a level playing field. Once the level playing field is there, you should give them the merit. Give them the merit to rise. As I was talking about in the defense, there's going to be no discrimination. So is this in business. They will not say, okay, you're a woman, so I'll give you, I'll give you an order because you can probably give us at a lesser price. No. You have to compete in the level playing field. So you have to make your competencies, you have to increase your skills, you have to learn the modalities of being in business, and you have to work in ethical forms. This goes for both men and women. The ethical business practices has to be for all. So now if we are saying that we're going to be bringing in all these norms, they have to also learn, the women have to be given the chance to upskill their levels of learning. And again, it's not just about basic education, it's about educating them on the changes and the patterns which are happening. So again, I will come into this policy issue of what is education about? Is it education only about yourself, about learning about a new skill, or a learning on how to sustain yourself? No, I'm talking about the community at large, because women we treat as a pivot. Women is a pivot of a family, and we in our organization we are treating as a head of the family a woman, and the family as a unit. So it is a small enterprise by itself where everybody is co-creating and working together in a common space. So if I take that as a unit, I would say, okay, we are all, if there are 4 members of a family or 5 members of a family, everybody is a bread earner in some forms or the other. And even if I say in the village communities, the whole family is working. The children are going to school, but when they come back, they again contribute. The girls look after the younger siblings when the woman is working, or she's also contributing in the production process. And there's nothing wrong in that, because I'm not calling it child labor, because she is being educated, she is being given knowledge, but she's not being moved from the mainstream. She will continue with her work even after being educated, because that's what we want. We don't want to displace them from where they are. We want to give them the, as we say, pura, that you bring the, provide them the urban amenities in rural areas or in the place where they are working. If you give them the facilities, the technology, the infrastructure, which I talked about, where they are, they will definitely grow. They will not need anything else. See, during COVID, if I tell you, it is amazing that during this COVID, the pandemic, the disruptions were immense, and the impact of this whole economics was so severe on women. Of course, men who were away migrated, they lost their jobs, there was closure of factories, the men came back, but the women were stuck in their places where they were. They were at the grassroots, they were at the villages, they were in their own homes, looking after the children or their families or the elderly who were with them. In the pandemic, everything closed down. Their livelihoods closed down. I mean, there was no market, there was no demand. Still, they had to survive because the survival instinct of women was there. So she changed course. Most of the women changed course. Change course means they found what is the requirement. Nobody taught them. Nobody taught them. We came in much later to be able to help them in building their resilience. But they changed course. And here I would like to highlight this point very, very strongly, that it was women's instinct of survival, that she doesn't have money, but she has to survive. She has to look after herself, her family, her animals, her village, her community. And all of them got together to find out what could they do now in this time of crisis. And any time of crisis, I've seen women being resilient on their own. Whether it was a war, whether it was an earthquake, whether it was a tsunami, all these places where we worked in calamities, in natural calamities, in disasters, we found the women were so resilient. It came from within. We all understand that we have probably a seventh sense, or what sense we have, but we have the ability to take the torture or the drastic changes of environment or trauma. We physically, mentally are so strong. So we have an inbuilt mechanism. The safety mechanism is inbuilt. But sometimes, like Hanuman, we don't know what our strengths are. And so very nicely it was said earlier that we have to be told that you have the strength. हनुमान जी को भी बोला था कि आपके पास इतना पावर है कि आप उड़ सकते हैं, आप जाके संजीवनी बूटी ला सकते हैं, आपके पास इतना पावर है कि आप बड़े हो सकते हैं, छोटे हो सकते हैं. He didn't know about it. So that brings us to this point of where the women have to be nurtured. Women have to be, as we say, a SWOT analysis, that look within. Our earlier speaker had said to look within. And when you look within, it's to bring out your SWOT analysis, is the strengths and weaknesses. Understand your strengths. that yes, I have this strength and I can overcome this circumstances, this kind of a whole situation, and this is what I can do. So it's an acumen and a sense, a third sense, to be able to undo what has been done, which is disruption. So she thought of what are the natural resources available? What can she make? At that time, they started making masks, the face masks, and face masks of various designs, of various varieties, of various forms, even the new entry masks, etc. Then they went into hand sanitizers. They started making PPE kits because they already had stitching as their thing. They were doing a lot of garmenting, etc. So they started making PPE kits. And then the establishment from the local authorities found that they could be the agents of change. They gave them the orders, and then the entire community was making all the kinds of things, like throwaway towels, throwaway caps, throwaway gloves, and things which were required during the pandemic. So this was their own thought process. Yes, maybe a direction was given, maybe the requirements were, but we can't say that anybody taught them. No education teaches you कि आप ये होगा तो ये करोगे, आप ऐसे करोगे. It is your own acumen which is there. So I would say the strengths are within you. You have to bring it out. You have to find out what your strength is and what is your weakness. The weakness, understanding weakness is a very kind of a very soft corner where we don't want to acknowledge our weaknesses. We generally don't acknowledge our weakness. We say, nahi, ye weakness nahi hai hamara. This is, so we don't try and overcome that. Okay, if you don't want to overcome that weakness, you have to build up on your strength. You have to build up on your strength and see what your strength is, make it stronger so that your weaknesses are overshadowed. Because everybody cannot be perfect. We cannot say that we are we don't have any weakness. We have all strengths, or somebody is so weak that he doesn't have a strength. It's not possible. So we are a mixture of all. But how do you overcome the entire thing to be able to come to your maximum potential? So are we using our maximum potential? No, we are not using. Anybody is not using even I say 50% of your brain or your knowledge of, we are not using at all. The left and the right brain, we're not being able to use because we're not being able to think out of the box. Now I'm coming to the very important a kind of environment which we have created for nurturing the entire ecosystem of entrepreneurship. Because as we've already agreed that livelihood, entrepreneurship, self-employment is the only answer to this glaring problem of unemployment and poverty. So entrepreneurship, we have this consortium of women entrepreneurs of India, where we have got the South Asia as our chapters. We have focal points in all the communities and villages and states where we all work together as a community. We don't work on a hierarchy. We're all together, we're all equals, everybody has a role to play, and everybody knows what the role they play. And everybody has their strengths. We are using their strengths, and wherever their weaknesses, we're trying to overcome those weaknesses through the strengths which we already have. And in this community, we have brought in this entire thing of what is happening. You know about this one product, one district. In that, the women are going to be playing a very important role. So we've given the role to the women. The entire SHG movement, the self-help group movement, has empowered the women drastically at the grassroots because they've been able to do the thrift and savings. They've been able to save every month, like a kitty. They've been, it's a compulsory saving, and they've been able to save their equal amount of money in a group, in a bank. So they have a bank account, they have savings in the bank, so they have independent signatory, so they have the income and they have their independence on the income to be able to use it as and when they require. So this first step of economic independence has given them a broad base to work on other social reforms. The other reforms are they know where to spend their money, how much to spend on nutrition, how to bring in healthy. We are teaching them how to look after their own health, because if you don't look after your own health, I mean, nobody, if you don't look after yourself, there'll be no one to look after you. So how much can you spend on good nutrition? If you are nutritious, if you're healthy, your child will be healthy. So it comes to the child care. So she knows, and then she will put them into good schools. They will give them good education, see that they have a good upbringing, because obviously they would like them to be above the ladder. If they are at the grassroots, they would like them to go to number 2, number 3 strata of society. Every parent wants the child to do better than what they were. So the mother, as a human being, as the center of the family, as a pivot of the family, will always look at the growth. That way, say if a woman is an entrepreneur, the entire family becomes an entrepreneur. If a man, he's an entrepreneur, he goes, he works, he comes back, and that's it. He doesn't make others an entrepreneur. But a woman will always, being the center, will share the burden. She'll talk about what they're doing. She'll also have other people helping her in the community. So she's a self-employed, but she's also giving jobs to other people in the neighborhood. So in that SHG movement, the self-help movement, what's happened is she's brought the entire group of women together as a community. It's called a community enterprise, where there's a lot of peer pressure on each other to save and to earn. And even if there is if the loans are required by the women, then she goes to the bank, and all of them go to the bank, and the bank doesn't ask for any collateral security, because it's a group, and so they are bound to give them 10 times the amount of money which is their saving. And let me tell you, in most of the states, a very large number of these groups of self-help groups have saved a very large amount of money in the banks, but they don't know how to judicially use it. That brings us to this problem of, again, the disparity, that they have their kitty, they have their margin money, but they don't know how to use it in businesses. So that is where we have to give them that level playing field. We have to educate them, we have to skill them. And what are the parameters which are leaving them out of this growth process? One is that they have the knowledge, they have the skill, the basic skill of doing work, because these are traditional skills. They know more than us, but we have to upscale their skills and tell them what is the market demand, what are the kind of changes happening in the society, what are the kind of changes they need to bring into the whole system. So this brings us to the innovation, which I was going to talk to you about, intellectual property rights. We have brought this inclusiveness at the grassroots for women, and we call it the IP rights as a constitutional right. They have a right towards their thinking. How do they safeguard their own creativity, innovations, and thinking? So whatever they have produced, whatever the new kind of designs they produce, whatever frugal technologies we are talking about rural technologies. What has happened to all that? That was all done by women in the olden ancient times, but they're not recorded anywhere. They're not, and the new changes which have taken place, the women have been left out. So coming to STEM, science and technology, that is a very important aspect, because women have been left out in the progress, because scientific knowledge, technology has not been imparted to them. So in the education programs, I think more and more women and young girls in the colleges have to take up technology, I think, because that's the future. And if you have the basic scientific knowledge and acumen, you can you can shape it in any form, any place in society, or any kind of work which you do. I myself am a science student. I mean, it's been now 2 decades. I became an entrepreneur again by force, because it was a program for women by the Science and Technology Department, and I was chosen because I had a science background. I was trying to be a doctor, but unfortunately, I became a businesswoman. And again, I was the first woman to be left out. So I say this gender disparity was there, because amongst the 200 students who were being selected, only eight women reservation was there, and I was the 8th person to be left. So that disparity probably did not let me grow. I would just say that that was the kind of differences which in the society is happening, and that's why the gap is growing, and that needs to be clubbed, and that needs to be, the digital divide has to move out, and that can be done through the kind of scientific inputs which we're trying to give. So bring in technology for ergonomics, because the women are doing some kind of skill work. They're using tools, they're using in the factories, they are mobilizing themselves, but they don't have good health care where ergonomically the body can stand up to that kind of the hardships which you do while you're doing the production process. So I would say technology plays a very important role in innovating. Now, innovating, why? Because you need to bring the women in the mainstream, because they have to compete with the other business processes. So they have to enhance their capacities of production. To bring down the cost of any goods, the process has to be improved. So you bring in technology, you bring in efficiency. Now we're talking about carbon footprints, and women have been very, very conscious about it. You will never find that women have polluted anyway in any which way the world, even if they are doing sustainable consumption and production. I've been part of this, and I can vouch that there is no kind of a pollution by the women at the grassroots level. You will only find where the growth has taken place in industries and in cities and in factories in the high end, where the pollution is taking place, not at the grassroots level. Even if they are producers, they are producer groups, they have always been on a sustainable platform, because they've tried to give back to the nature. They know that the natural resources which they are using has to be replenished. And so this in their minds has always been, which we now call the SDGs. The women have been following best practices in the terms of the waste management. They've been recycling waste. They don't have environmental pollution as such, as there's no carbon emission. They are planting trees to give back if there is kind of erosion. They're giving back. They're doing the vermicomposting. They are doing organic farmings. They've got into all these processes of making natural fibers. They're using natural fibers and making things out of that. Even if you see the new sanitary napkins, which are being available at ₹1 by the communities, are all recyclable. And they are eco-friendly, and they can be destroyed. They're not the polyurethane which the factories are making, and the fibers are coming from China, which is destroying our entire ecological system. So you see how responsible the women are, but they have to be given the opportunity. They have to be given technology. The second thing I would say is finance, because as microfinance, they've been able to sustain themselves. They have saved, but if they want to grow, they need the credit, and the credit delivery system is not conducive to them. So that is the hindrance which is stopping them to grow. So if we give them the equal platform, see, if we go to a bank, and I've suffered that, they always say, bring in collateral, and women do not have collateral because they don't have assets in their name. So they can't They can't pledge anything to the bank, and so they didn't get security. But they will ask them that you get a third-party security, your husband's security, or a male member security. But that, no. Why should we do that? Why is she not treated as an entity who is capable of contributing to the society equally? Because we don't see them in the same light. Now, who is responsible for this? This is called gender sensitization. So we have to sensitize the officers concerned to the problems of the women. Sensitization is a process where all the persons in the society, male, female, both. And the earlier speaker nicely said that women have to sensitize towards the other women as well. So we have to sensitize ourselves towards each other, be more respectful to each other, do not think of pulling down each other, instead of giving a helping hand so that the others climb higher and you can climb higher. So it becomes a ladder, and we all enrich ourselves in the process where we all become a ladder for each other. We do not need to pull down each other. We need to support each other. And if the other grows, you will automatically grow. This is a natural process. You give 1, you will get 10. You give 10, you will get 100. This is a natural phenomena. We have to understand that by diminishing the others, we cannot grow. You will never grow by diminishing others. So if you're thinking of pulling down the others or other women or other people in your society, you will never grow. If the other person is growing, try and grow higher than them. So you will be always growing. They will all give space to each one to grow. And that is what the law, this is the entire reform system we are talking about. Give us space to grow. In whatever way, give them the freedom. The girls in schools and colleges have been given freedom to choose what they want to do. Give them the freedom to think. That brings out the creativity and what we say, the innovation. Now we're becoming the technical hub. If we're talking about the 5 trillion economy, you have to bring in innovations, and there is nobody who cannot innovate. It's just that they don't have the whole ecosystem to help them to co-create and procreate or to think out of the box. If you are given a very one syllabus, that syllabus, वो कहते हैं कि that every day I read the chapter, but the life gives me a new syllabus. And I get a different question which is not in my syllabus. So if you are taught something and in life you face another kind of a calamity, another kind of a problem, you will say, okay, I didn't read, but that doesn't happen. What you read in your textbooks may not be what you do in practical life. For me, it was never, I'm in a different field altogether. But yes, my logic, my thinking, my scientific acumen helps me to think out of the box. So I'm encouraging all people from the society, young, the youth, the elderly, females, the men, the boys, girls, equally alike, to think out of the box, think of innovative solutions to solve problems of the society. When I say intellectual property rights, it's a right which each one of us has within us to think out of the box and create solutions to the problems of the society. It's very simple, that we get a problem, we solve it for ourselves. Definitely, we all can find ways and solutions to solve our problems. But can we, on a broader context, can we create something, or can we think of something where we can solve problems of the society, whether it's of the environment, with pollution, or whether of this gender? Can we bring in some kind of formulas where, so we have to sensitize ourselves to various situations in life. We will be facing all kinds of situations in life. So we have to think of, Not a problem is a problem, yes, and find solution for it and share it with all of us. And this again, I would say the women are doing very well. I give them a problem to solve, they come out with new solutions, and which are very, very practical and they are usable. And those solutions also have a multiplier effect, because other people come out with their own solutions to, okay, we can do this particular, solve this problem in this particular way, and this problem can be solved even more easily this way. So what do? Innovate or co-create in that environment to be able to give simple solutions. So it's about simplicity back to them, you're giving back to the society, and then co-creating something, an equal platform for each one to participate. That concept is called the common facility also, that you give them one platform for the entire community where they all come together. They have equal opportunity to do the R&D there, to create the designs, to bring out new business acumen, to think of new ways of doing, to procreate their living, to make it easier for them, simpler ways of living, and think of how the next generation of their society, how they could develop and progress, I think. So what we really are thinking about is in progression, where we are talking about how to find solutions to various problems. And in that context, I'm saying that you have to give each one, not again women and thing. When I'm saying gender, it's both the genders have to be given a equal platform, because right now, even the men, I mean, the industries where the men are, because I work with the MSME, the micro and small and medium enterprises. I know the small enterprises and the micro enterprises having a tough time. The men are also not being able to find solutions to the kind of problems, the packages, economic packages which have been given, the policy post-COVID has not been very conducive to them. So they are also struggling. So I'm saying equal platform, equal opportunities, for everyone to grow. So if there is a platform for each one of us to grow, there will be no hindrances, there will be no disparity. And this gender bias, which we are all talking about, will really not happen. So as we say, it's going to take 100 years. I don't think so. If we all think positively and we find solutions to the problems, but we have to understand each other. And there's no complex of superiority complex and the inferiority complex. I think we all have to think about each other. It's about thinking about each other. And this is what, when we, in the social entrepreneurship movement, this is what we say. A social entrepreneur is not what you think only about yourself. The profit is not only for you. It's about sharing the prosperity. And when you share the prosperity, everybody grows. You will definitely grow, but when your environment grows, you will automatically grow further. And as you grow, the environment has to grow. You cannot stand alone and grow on your own. Now I'm coming to the corporate sector. What happens is, if you don't have intrapreneurship, क्या होता है कि that the employees also often of a corporate sector are entrepreneur in some way. So we call it intrapreneur. The leader or the managing director or the owner is there, but he cannot work alone till he has a whole team to work for you. And the team means that each one is given a job or has been given the freedom to express himself and do something, provide solutions to the problems, or to co-create something for the health of the industry, for the health of the factory. And if the factory makes profit, he also makes profit in the bargain. So it's the same thing in a community. When you're working for yourself, or you expand, you create the demand. When you create the demand for your products, you need to expand. You need to produce more. When you need to produce more, you involve people more. And when you involve more people, you're giving jobs to them indirectly. And so you're growing and the people are growing. You're providing jobs to everybody. And that is why entrepreneurship, as I said, was the underlying bottom line of what I said, is to end poverty and eradicate unemployment in the country. So here again, when I'm saying it's the gender because of all these environment and societal issues. So society, all what I just talked about was societal issues, that the society, it becomes a big barrier for in the growth process. Because we always think, wo kya kahega, wo kya kar raha hai, wo kya kar raha hai. We don't say that, yes, what do I want? What is my aptitude? What can I do better? And if I do better, I mean, how am I helping the society do better? So it's not, not thinking only about yourself, you're thinking about the whole society at large. So that brings me to this. It's a very good platform, and I'm very happy that the universities have collaborated to bring this entire issue of gender justice and gender parity and equality. And as I said, it's equality for all, everybody. Yeah, the youth, the young, even the elderly. Everybody of us needs a parity, level playing field. So we need an environment. We need to create the policies. We need to create the medium for us, for each one to grow and share our expertise. Saying that if you have a skill you're sharing with others, people are going to copy. No, that's what I'm trying to say. The more you share your knowledge with them, you will get knowledge from the others as well. When we go to the grassroots women, we share our knowledge, what we know, what we have learned, or what we have seen, or what the environment gives. But they give us a lot of knowledge. It's not that we go and push our policy and programs on them. We find out their needs, because their needs, and I come back to the point that one size does not fit all. So what is a kind of policy or program conducive to this little community, and East, West, North, South, India is a very large country. We all need, there are matriarchal systems, there are women who are doing better, there are men who are doing better, the way the children are doing well, the environment is all different everywhere. So you have to see what is required by whom. And instead of wasting their times on trusting ourselves on them, we find out what do they need and tailor make a program on where we can fill their gap. We can fill their gaps and give them what they need. And that comes out of the data. The baseline data is a very important thing for gender justice or equality or gender budgeting. When the government wants to make a gender budget, or when they want to make program, they have to see they have to have a data on the basis of which we can say, okay, so many women have no access to, if they have no access to infrastructure, they have no access to livelihood, they have no access to banks. I mean, banks and things are missing in certain areas, and they are expected to walk miles to do. How do you think they can flourish? I mean, I've seen where schools are also not there, or schools are there, but no good teachers are there. So, I mean, I'm happy that you're doing a faculty development program, because the faculty also needs to develop their whole system and with the changing times. We need to understand, we also, when we go, we have to understand what we're going to be teaching the children, or the community, or the women whom we're going to be teaching. Are we teaching the right things? I mean, is it what is really required? So preparing ourselves first to understand what are we addressing, whom are we addressing, what is the methodology we're going to be addressing at, and how is it going to benefit them. At the end of the day, we don't need to waste time of each other. We have to understand what are we making them to understand. So if we say that they are empowered, but they need different kind of skills, we have to take those set of skills to them. If they need technology, we will bring them that. If they have no finance, we have to make a policy very conducive to give them, to make them timely and adequate finance. Otherwise, it doesn't work, because doing. I would like to know if my time is there, or should I stop, because I don't mind taking some questions if there are any. You would like to do a interactive session for 10 minutes, or or should I go ahead, because I can continue for long, but I would like to understand if you have any questions. I can stop here and then I can improve on it a little further if you feel like.
Participants, if you have any questions, you can ask in between.
Or do you want me to focus on any one particular issue? I can take it a little more, because I cannot understand how much you have understood what I've been saying, because I've been saying it from my heart, from my practical experience. So since I'm not a teacher, so maybe I don't reach out to you as much as you would like, but I would like a response. If you, I'll be happy to get a feedback from you on what you've really understood.
Participants, you can unmute your mic and you can write on the chat box if there is an issue related or any question is there.
Is there anything on the chat box for me? Then I could explain that a bit more. I don't see that. I don't see any questions so far, but I was just trying to work on the entrepreneurial focus more, because that's my forte, and I work with women entrepreneurs, and I myself got motivated through a mentor who was a lady, and she, as I said, I was the first batch of EDI, Entrepreneurship Development Institute, Ahmedabad. And we were 30 women selected from the entire country. And we had no idea what entrepreneurship was. We were the first generation entrepreneur. And so we were motivated, actually forced to take up the self-employment activity. But we were given everything timelined. It was all very wisely timelined. Within a week, we had to do something. Within a month, we had to give our project report. Within 2 weeks, we had to go to the banks. So it was all very systematic. And then it worked very well. But if a person is free to do and take their own time, generally for women, because as I earlier said, that we play dual roles. We look after the family and we work, and we have to also earn our incomes. So what happens, we start to prioritize, but prioritizing doesn't mean that is what the sensitization is, that the corporate sector or the industry should not feel that the priority of women is in the home, so she will not be able to deliver. She can do both. We're doing double roles. We're doing multitasking. So that is a positive aspect for women, and that should not be a hindrance, or the companies should not think that this is a hindrance to have a women on top of the ladder. So this glass ceiling, which I was talking about, is why women drop out of the growth process, is because sometimes when they take a maternity leave, and I think my earlier speakers were talking about that, and when they rejoin the workforce, they are not at the equal footing. They go down the ladder quite a bit. Why? I think because they think that the others have moved up the ladder, or is she not qualified enough, or she's not been able to gain that much of experience, or she's lost on that experience. But that should not be the deterrent. And therefore, what happens is women then fall back, they get disheartened, and most of them move out and start something, think of doing something of their own, or are disappointed because they can't break that glass ceiling. Otherwise, if you're revolutionary, yes, some women have broken all norms and have gone up the ladder, but that's very few. So why are women falling out of the job line? Why are we seeing so many dropouts in the workplace? This whole thing of safety and security also plays a very important role. We don't have the systems in place for everybody for safety and security. I mean, women want to go out independently, but they're scared after darkness. There is this whole thing about not being safe. It's still there. So this is about the social environment which we have created, where the growth process. And there are a lot of expectation that the women also cannot do this and women cannot do that. But that should not be it. If she has the acumen, give her the space, give her the time, give her the training, give her the systems to be able to create that much, and the output will be equally there. I mean, that there should be no norms about it, and there should be no two norms about it, and we have to accept that. But there are certain challenges. The challenges could be for men as well. So that disparity will not stop the women from growing further. So the environment is a very important issue where the gender equality has taken a space where they have stopped people from growing, and so the equal opportunities for going. But it's okay if they have not lost their jobs and they don't get wages, they have started becoming self-employed. And that, I think, is a positive sign. And I'm very happy that if they are getting self-employed or they are creating their own income-generating activities, they have their own time to play with. They have their home, they work from homes. They put in that much of hours. They put in more hours. They know when to have the time management. They cook. They look after the children. They work. They do the income-generating, and still they are ready for doing all kinds of odd jobs. As I said, they're multidisciplinary ways. They do much more, and especially the grassroots, they do much more work than men, definitely. But they are unpaid, as I would say, or unrecognized, I would say. So it's high time that we look at the, even if not paying them, but at least recognizing them, that their contribution in the national GDP is there, and we have to acknowledge, and that's how it will give them more self-respect. They will feel more confident, and they will feel worthful. Worthful is what I would say. We have to agree on that we have to make them worthful, that we have to make ourselves worthwhile, that we have come and we're being able to contribute to the growth process of the country, the community, of ourselves as well. Thank you once again, and I would wait for any discussions, if any.
Participants, if you have questions, you can ask. Okay, thank you very much, ma'am, for sharing your valuable talk and sparing your time most of the time.
Thank you so
And ma'am,
much.
actually, what is after going through this 5-day symposium, what I have come across is that women are already almost empowered now this time. But the thing is that they have to identify what are the opportunities. They are to change. There is a need to change their mindset, because and they are the one who can change the mindsets of their families, because in every family there is a woman. If they change their mindsets, they identify their opportunities, they identify their capabilities, basically, I think we can make a big change. So thank you very much, ma'am. And as a token of respect, I would like to present a certificate to you. Please, ma'am, accept it to be on the screen.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Yeah.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, and all the best to you and the faculty and the students. All my best wishes to you. Yes, invest in yourself and think that you're worth it, and you've come here with a good cause of developing yourself, promoting yourself as well as others. That would be my message to all of you, and teachers are my guru, so my namaste again to all of you, and आपकी शुभकामनाएं जरूरत है हम लोग को सबको ग्रो करने के लिए. Thank you so much.
Ma'am, one thing I want to say that, ma'am, you're beautiful. And ma'am, you're very presentable, and it was very good to listen to you. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you.
And the next, we'll meet again for the second technical session as at 2 p.m. Thank you very much, all of you.